Okay, you all let me know when you're ready. Yes, sir. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Regina Waller, Communications Division Manager here in External Affairs here in Fulton County. I just want to say welcome to the media as well as to our guest. Today we are here to talk about the end of early voting. As of 7 p.m. this evening, early voting will end here in Fulton County. It has been a very successful 3 weeks for us here. You will hear the numbers and just how successful here momentarily, but also we want to make sure that those who have decided to vote on Tuesday, November 8th, the election day, that they remember they have to vote at their assigned locations. We'll talk more about that later, but first I would like to bring to the podium our Board of Registration and Elections Chair, Ms. Kathy Woolard.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here and just give you a little bit of an update of what's been a really extraordinary election across the state and here in Fulton County. Before I get started, let me just take a minute to thank our election staff, led by Interim Director Nadine Williams, the 3,000 volunteers that we have working extraordinary hours across the advanced voting time frame and on Election Day. And then our Fulton County staff and leadership here who, even though sometimes they're not involved in elections day to day, really turn out to help us make sure that we've got all the gaps covered. And so it's a team effort. I don't think you'll find another county in the state that works as well together as we do here. Nadine's going to give you some of the details, and then we'll both stand up here and answer any specific questions you have. But what I want to say in my brief time as chair of the Board of Registration Elections and did the municipal elections last year and the primary and primary runoff, it's been quiet. Things are going very, very well. I want to remind people we have almost 1 million voters, registered voters in Fulton County. We're an enormous county. If you've ever driven end to end and some of the best traffic in the country, we have a big logistical amount of work to do. On Election Day, we'll have 250 polling places. Again, an extraordinary effort to get that equipment in from advanced voting and then back out again and ready to go on Tuesday morning. So when you think about what we're doing here, it really is among the biggest and the best in the country, and I'm happy to say that we continue to work hard and improve and address everything we can. So I'm going to bring Nadine Williams up and let her give you the juicy stuff I'm sure you're here to hear.
Good afternoon. Well, early voting ends today, and we are truly thankful to all the workers who assisted us in allowing over 270,000 people, as of yesterday, in exercising their right to vote during advanced voting. For Election Day, we are reminding voters that they are to go to their assigned voting precinct. There were a few polling location changes since the June election, so we're asking voters to please visit the Secretary of State My Voter page to confirm their voting site before they go out to vote. And I will take any questions at this time.
With regards to the number of poll workers compared to the last election, is the county increasing poll workers? Are they increasing training for poll workers since 2020?
We have enhanced training, so our training program has improved. In regards to increasing workers, it depends on the election. Usually we gauge that depending on the voter turnout for this election. We did predict that there will be a high turnout, so we are well staffed to make sure we have enough people to accommodate the number of voters we're expecting.
Is there a general ballpark number of poll workers that will be working on election day?
It's over 2,600. Yes.
Can you talk about how many people you are expecting on the actual election day?
Actually, I don't have an exact number because voting habits have changed since SB 202 came into place. So this will be like the first election where everything is in place for that law. So we're thinking maybe 100,000, but we honestly don't know for certain.
Can you break down the key things you want people to know who plan to vote on Tuesday, November 8th?
To please go to your assigned polling place. do your research. You can go online to see your polling place. You can see your sample ballot, read the questions, research the candidates, and do all that. That'll make the process a lot faster.
So when you talk about making the process a lot faster, can you talk about what you are doing to make sure these lines aren't as long? I know that in years past that has been the headline about people going there, long lines, broken machines. What things have you put in place to make sure that does not happen again?
We have increased the quantity of machines that are at each location, so that should decrease the lines.
With regards to safety and security, of course, I know it's been quiet, which is great, but for the day of, is there anything additional or the same in terms of security and safety for poll workers and election officials and voters?
We are assigning an officer at every one of our 249 locations out of precaution. So there is an officer at every location.
And how many polling places again on election day?
There's exactly 249.
And I'm sorry, you were answering her question. Did you say increase quality or quantity of the voting machine?
Quantity.
Quantity.
Yeah, quantity.
You guys have established guidelines because it seems to be arbitrary depending on where you go. If people don't get in by 7 p.m., what are the basic rules to extend that?
There is no rule to extend that. If you're in line at 7 o'clock, you're allowed to vote. So even if the line is down the block, if you're in that line, you're permitted to vote. But you have to be in that line by 7.
Can you once again say and spell your full name and title, please?
Sure, it's Nadine Williams, Interim Director.
Can you spell your first name again?
Sure, Nadine, last name Williams, Williams.
And your full title, interim director of what?
Fulton County Registration and Elections.
Okay, thank you.
And before we wrap things up, I want to make sure that we get your help with something. We will close the polls for early voting, advanced voting in less than 6 hours. Once the polls have closed and early voting ends, we want those who have decided to vote on election day to remember these words: my poll, my place. Because if you choose to vote on election day, remember you have to do so at your assigned location. And it is wonderful to know before you go, as we always say. So please be sure to check the My Voter page as well. All right.
One more question.
Yes,
Will
sir.
if people have a absentee ballot they want to drop off on election day, where can they do so and until what time can they do that?
Okay. I'll get Nadine to give you the complete answer to that.
Okay, if you want to drop off an absentee ballot, you must do so at one of our election offices. There's one in this building, which is the Government Center, the North Phoenix, and South Phoenix. The drop boxes are closing today. They close. There's only 7 locations that have drop boxes. They're listed on our website. Those close when advanced voting polls close. But on election day, you can take them to the 3 offices. You have until the polls close at 7 to get to those offices to drop off your ballot.
So thank you all again.
That was riveting.
You got to go at this. This is
I know.